What's up, guys? Welcome to AFTERBUZZ TV as we break down episode 4 of Champs vs. Pros. And guys, you do not want to miss it tonight because we've got a very special guest in studio for you.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AFTERBUZZ TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
No, I'm digging it. I dig it. I love
that first second when it comes back and nobody knows what to do.
Right.
Like
everyone's waiting for the song.
Yeah, they're like, so are we dancing, guys? How do we?
Yeah.
Can't really do
Don't
that.
be the
Can't
uncool
really
one,
do
right?
the
Yeah,
exactly.
lights out dance to this.
Well, thanks, guys, for tuning in. We will be breaking down a cold day in hell, but we do have a special guest for you. And before we get to that, my name is Paulina Aguilar, and you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina Aguilar. And please welcome my lovely co-host.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You just missed me do the lights out dance like an idiot. But my name is Jenna Bussiere. You can find me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere.
And hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us. My name is Pamela Gross, and you can find me on the Twitter and the Instagram at Pamela Gross Jill.
And we've got the Lights Out Merriman.
It's been here for 20 minutes already, and we're having
With
so
that
much
excitement,
fun.
that excitement
Yeah,
brings it back,
building it
yeah.
up.
Yeah, we had to stop from hearing all the good stuff before we're saving
Right.
it for you
We
guys.
gotta save it. We gotta save it.
We're doing it for you.
All right, so before we break down tonight's episode, we want to get to know a little bit of that hot dog competition that was going on over
We're
there.
just going right in
grilling. Let's just jump right into it. How the heck did you get stuck on that thing?
So, first of all, nobody my size is supposed to be wrapped up in anything, right? Nobody wrapped up. So, when I seen it, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna drown, right? I didn't think that I was actually gonna do it, but I'm like, I'm the biggest person there, obviously, and they got me wrapped up. And the wrap wasn't bad, other than I couldn't breathe. Right, so when they lay you down,
that's not great.
The wrap is not that bad to have you wrapped up, but I'm so big, it's like putting everything in here. Now you have to roll.
And you had the bag of chips in your mouth too, so you had the
damn those
added
chips!
challenge. Damn those chips!
Well, they left me the hook, and Lola actually. Let me just throw her under the bus early on. Now my girl Lola, she just threw because she was supposed to have the chips in her, so I wasn't gonna have them because I knew for sure that I didn't need the chips in my mouth because I was barely gonna finish anyway. So yeah, I got stuck with the chips.
So
That's how the chips fall.
but the thing is,
Corny.
Right.
but you were ripping it though. You were first place. I thought you had it in the bag.
Yeah.
Another cliche pun. But you were so far ahead of everybody, and then something happened, and I don't know. Your face first
Got
and
stuck
mustard.
in
Like,
the-
what was that factor that slowed you down?
When I got in there, because I am the biggest person there, I really had to use every other part of my body to get out. So I've been using my body to roll, and beat everybody there and beat everybody there. And I tried to do the same thing when I got in the sauce.
Right.
And it was a little too saucy. I was a little, too much sauce. Right. I had way too much sauce.
You couldn't handle the sauce.
I couldn't handle the sauce, and I got in there, and for the first time, I was thinking like, oh shit, like I'm in trouble.
Here we go.
Right. So as you said, I was leading. I felt good. I'm like, I'm beating everybody. I kicked everybody's ass. Oh shit, right? I got in the sauce, and I'm laying on my back for the first time, and I can't get out, right? I can't get out, and I'm looking to the sky, and I was this close from like quitting, right? I wasn't going to finish, and I remember Cameron Wembley, who also was also competing on the show.
Big dude.
Yeah, also a big dude. He was telling me that when he was going, he was looking at the sky, and they had the drone. Right, they had the drone, so he said he didn't want to quit.
Otherwise,
Yeah, he didn't want to quit. And I was thinking to myself, I said, if I quit, everybody going to see me in the world basically quit. I'm not quitting. So I just found a way to finish.
But that drone gave us an amazing photo.
Oh my God.
Which we may or may not have if we can get that pulled
we'll
up.
get it, but we're gonna save that a little bit later as a surprise.
All right.
Just because it's too good.
But I wanted to ask you, have you eaten a hot dog since that challenge? What's your relationship like with hot dogs right
It's
now?
not. We're not that close,
No.
honestly. And we kind of made up, but I'm never talking to the ketchup again.
No ketchup?
Like no ketchup. I was at
mustard?
I was at a restaurant like 3 or 4 days after, and they brought brought ketchup over, and I like moved, shoved it off. I swear, I shoved the ketchup off of the table.
How dare you,
I was
sir.
so pissed.
I know, right? But can you imagine the story you tell someone where they're like, "Why do you not like ketchup?"
Yeah, you got a
dude?"
problem
You know?
with ketchup? Like,
I
what's the
know.
beef here? What happened?
And they'll never get it. They'll never understand.
I want to
gotta,
send you
show.
like 50
fries for you
packages
from
of
now on.
ketchup to your house just to.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, that would do it.
All right. Well, what is this whole thing with CM Punk? Are you guys okay now? You know, not a lot of people know about what happened in 2007.
Yeah, so basically in 2007, I was in Costa Rica vacationing, and the WWE had a show. They had a big show out there. So we were staying at the same hotel, and I was out there with a couple friends of mine. We were kind of laying by the pool, and I was walking around, and I seen 2 or 3 guys that I knew, and I went to go say hello, and I went back, and I also seen Eve. Who was, I think she was a diva or something at the time, where she was doing some kind of broadcast,
Okay.
or
Eve Torres.
Yeah, Eve
okay.
Torres, right? Eve Torres, and I've known Eve since we met in San Diego one time. So I seen her, and I went up and I said hello, and how, what are they doing out here, and what's going on, and we kind of went our separate ways. Well, the following, even later on that night, I get this Twitter message just saying I got played by WWE Diva. So I said, "Played? What are you talking about?"
Yeah.
I didn't even
Can I
really
say hello to my friend?
Yeah, I didn't even really know what was going on, but it got really big because they were at me, and it was like lighting up, and I didn't look at my phone because I was in Costa Rica, and some parts of it I didn't have
Living.
service. Right, just having a great time, having a great time. So I finally seen who it came from, and I saw him when I was laying by the pool, and he was in a thong. Right.
For real?
Like, if,
Get it,
or
get it.
for real thong.
It was close.
Okay.
It was
Wow.
close, and I think it was a thong.
Picture
to be honest. I
CM.
think it was a thong.
Shout out, post some
But you
pictures
know
on
what?
Twitter.
If that's what he was into, that's fine. If you like to wear thongs by the pool, so I was. I was pretty pissed off because not of what he said, but how it kind of went down.
Right.
That wasn't the case.
Yeah.
So anyway, I said something back to him about wearing this thong or whatever the case was. He said something back to me, and I said something back to him. And it went 5 or 6 times, and it got picked up everywhere. I mean, it was like in the Chicago newspaper, it was in New York, so it was everywhere. And not to mention that, I was still talking to the WWE about potentially being a superstar, about being a wrestler. And so it wasn't far-fetched that something could have happened.
Right.
Yeah.
Like it's
Yeah.
beyond just
That would have been
petty beef. It
great.
could have
Right.
really
Did
affected
you guys-
It'd be great
Yeah.
money for WWE if you did become a wrestler and you guys matched up one time. I mean,
Right. The thong versus
No,
the
'cause he
peacock.
Right.
That's what
right.
Yeah,
Well,
the peacock and the thong.
and, and that's what was going to happen at the time, and I didn't know where that was going or where it was going to lead to, but it definitely got blown up out of proportion.
So unnecessary. Did you guys have any encounter before the show?
Yeah, so I didn't really understand, or I'm from Maryland, and I'm from the DMV area, right? I'm from the East Coast. We act a little different.
Jersey.
Yeah,
we're both
we act a little different out there, right? And when I seen him for the first time, I walked up to him, kind of like, "What's up?"
Yeah.
I mean, like, if we did have problems, I would like to straighten it out now.
Right.
However, we need to kind of straighten things out. And he came up and said, "No, he's cool." And I said, "Okay, cool, I'm cool," or whatever. And we're going to compete and have a good time on the show.
Right.
yeah.
And that was really it.
Okay, cool. Because you went up to him on the show, so do
Yeah.
you think that was kind of initiated by production? They wanted you guys to have that confrontation, or
Yes and no, because it kind of needed to be had a little bit too, because there were so many things said or extra around the situation that blew up even bigger. So we were around all the other all the other pros and all the other challenges. We were around everybody, so we didn't have a time to sit down and talk.
Right.
So our first time interaction without everybody being around, he was really sitting off somewhere by himself, and I was about to go and talk to him, and I'm walking over and saying, "Are you going to talk to CM?" And I said, "Yeah, I'm going to
Cameras,
talk. Can we get it? Can we get it?"
of course, yeah.
And me, I don't have that big of an ego where if I did something or said something, I'll say sorry.
Right.
I don't have that
but you
type
did,
of a problem.
and you were the one to bring up the situation.
Right. And I went over and we kind of just talked about what happened from his side, and I talked about what happened from my side. But it's still a little bit like I want to kick your ass a little bit too, because we're about to compete. We're about to go. At some point in time, I knew that, look, they ain't having me on a show for no reason.
Right.
And I know they wanted to kind of egg this situation on.
Yeah.
So I thought I was gonna get a better chance to compete against him.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you did get that opportunity, and you lost to him.
Well, Paulina.
Wow. Yeah, don't
So we're just gonna
You didn't have to get straight to the point with that. You
Shawne, I don't know if you remember, but you lost on the show.
Yeah, no, you didn't.
I don't know if you heard her or her, but you
That was
lost.
my last little segue to CM
But
Punk.
since it was CM, what was that like? Were you more punked up? Was it a little awkward? Did it make it
think it
any
was
different competing because it was CM
Well,
Punk?
you know, this is the thing. When I saw how they had things set up, I thought I would have a better opportunity to go and physically do something to him, right? So when I seen how the course is set up, I started going around and I asked Johnny Bananas, and I asked some of the other guys there who've seen the course like that before.
Right.
So what I thought when I first seen it is that I'm going to have to clash with him physically, and I'm like, yes, I get my time, right? I'm so happy about it.
Right.
I'm trying to act calm and cool about it, but in my head, I'm thinking like I'm about to kick the shit out of this dude, right? So, and everybody gonna get a chance to see it. So I'm like, I have to get a chance to go. So we're getting ready. Nobody really knows what's going to happen. And right as we're walking over, they say, "Oh, by the way, it's a blindfolded stick match."
You're like,
And in my head, I'm thinking like, really?
Like, is he a pinata?
Right.
You get to.
You know, so I didn't really get the opportunity like I was looking for.
They never could have let you go up against him, though. The size matchup, I mean, that wouldn't even
That would have been great TV. I mean, it'd have been rated R, but
you think?
know.
Yeah.
That's what sucks so much about a challenge like that.
Yeah.
Well, we were all obviously super sad to see you go, but in that, it's like, oh man, I mean, it is so much chance and circumstance and
luck.
goofiness
Yeah, you're
that it's a
blindfolded.
bummer.
I mean,
it's
you
a bummer,
really-
and it's all about the person helping you call. That were you a little salty about that, or was it like fine, back to my regular
You know, I mean,
life?
it's funny that you say it because even in the like the hot dog rolling races we had, right?
Yeah.
I easily, most of us, you could have quit, right? I mean, what's going to happen? Okay, you didn't finish a hot dog race, whatever. But all of us were professional athletes there, so that inner thing is like telling us not to quit.
Of course.
And we're going to keep,
Not an option.
I didn't have to finish, but I'm like, I'm not quitting, right?
Yeah.
But it's
It's not
that
in my
inner
blood.
athlete. So when I did lose against Punk, I was a little pissed off about
Right.
it because
It sucks.
it wasn't that the going home part about it was that I lost to him,
Right.
the guy
was
who
it
I
mostly
was
that?
it was a little bit to me because I thought I was going to have the opportunity to go out and perform and do something that was a little bit more physically challenging than
Right.
a stick fight
Just
match.
join the MMA and take your second chance.
Hey,
Well, I mean,
you heard it here first.
That's a
find CM Punk there, too.
possibility. That's a
Yeah.
possibility too.
Well, on the show, you also said that hot dog contest was going to present a lot of funny memes.
And it's
And
we took
Jenna
the
here,
challenge.
Jenna here
Russian
spent
photo.
hours and hours
okay.
and hours over this past weekend making
Don't
these
be
memes
embarrassed,
just for
Jenna.
you.
I know,
it's been hours.
All right, so let's go through
Oh,
a
So
few.
man.
let me know how I do.
Go on the challenge, they said. It's for charity.
I love it because it looks like you were just
When you
outside
find
of
out
the
you're
shining
moving from San
elevator.
Diego to Buffalo.
Right.
Might
oh
add
my
a little
God.
bit of concern for working on my summer body life. Like,
I
where's
think
the
that's
hot dogs?
everybody.
Like, I did 3 crunches. Give me the hot dogs.
The face you make when you get signed by the Bills.
Oh, okay. All right.
Shawne Merriman, now available for your summer barbecue.
Oh,
There
good.
you go, just in time. When CM Punk
Oh,
sends you
I'm
home,
Oh,
episode 2.
that was cold.
That was
was
my favorite.
that was a little
What'd you
a little
think?
cold. The 41s when the Buffalo one happened. That was good. I mean, I love Buffalo,
I have
but
to
it was
take a
cold.
little bit of pride, you know?
Yeah.
Good job, Jenna.
Well,
You did good.
job.
You know, the funny that picture right there is when I looked into the sky and I realized that drone was there.
That's what you were saying.
That
That's
was
why
it.
it's so
When
funny.
you realize there's a drone
It's
above
so
you, we'll
funny
have to
you
make
knew
that
that
one.
because the image, you seriously see you look at the drone, take a few deep breaths, it's zooming in on you. Like, that was a 30-second look at Shawne Merriman and ketchup and mustard right here.
But I knew it. I knew
Yeah,
even when the
that's
time
so
was
funny you say
happening,
that.
like, I see these memes all the time, and I'm like, I'm not going to be one. Right. I mean, I turned out to be one or 20, but at the time I was like, I'm not quitting.
Isn't that everybody's biggest fear? Now everything is going viral memes. Like you go to the grocery store and you trip, and then you're a viral meme. Like I feel like no one's safe.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying with that.
No one is safe. Now, Lola's been getting a lot of social media based because she's so blunt and honest and, you know, just out there, and they were kind of comparing them to her to Bananas.
Yeah.
I mean, you were with both of them at the same time. How was that whole experience?
It was pretty close. I mean, Bananas, to a certain point, I mean, don't get me wrong, I still think he's, you know, an asshole sometimes. I mean,
he is.
No, but you know, he's a good guy. But he said some things on set, and I was like, damn, like, that's cold. You know, I wouldn't say anything like that. Lolo, in a sense, has one speed, right? She has one speed, and I think she's such a competitor sometimes that for her to interact with regular people in a way is really hard. Seriously, it's really hard because she's such a competitor and wants to win and everything. You know, for example, we played football that one day.
Flag football.
Right? We had to play the flag football, and we're going up and we're on defense. And I think Lolo was playing. She came up and leveled Lindsay.
Yeah. Oh, was that
that?
Well, we didn't see her level her. She asked, "Oh, can I hit somebody? Like, do I have to refrain, hold back?"
Yeah, I mean, she came up and like straight up football, like she was trying out for the combine / I'm gonna leave my feet.
Trying to get a scholarship.
Yeah, I mean, straight up, she was trying to get a scholarship, and she came up and leveled Lindsay, and I kind of looked back at the cameras. I was like, "Oh, did you see that? Like,
you guys got that?
Crazy." But she already had kicked it into another gear. She had kicked it into another gear mentally, and then at that point, when she started to feel like everyone was looking at her like she was crazy, she became more crazy.
Right.
It was like,
more defensive.
More defensive. Like, I'm not crazy. I'm not defensive. This is not a game. I'm out here to win. What's wrong with you? So that came to that level.
Well, on the show, it made it seem like she, you know, her foundation and her charity was the most important thing above everyone. That's how it perceived. I personally don't think she would intentionally do that. Was it like that?
Yeah, I mean, we did. I mean, we all felt like that because she did it, in a sense, have every opportunity to say her charity. And I don't know how many times they played it, but she said it as much as she possibly could.
Right.
And if she lost or got in a position to lose, it was automatically like, you guys don't want me to win for my charity.
Right.
And in actuality, it's like, Lola, we're all here for our charity.
Right.
You know. But anyway, it kind of gave me into a mindset of how she really thinks all the time.
Right.
And look, it's not like I'm going up and when we're playing flag football, I can tackle, knock anybody out. I'm not going to really go do it.
I'm going to kill Gus. Like, right, would you?
Exactly.
Gus, you're going down.
Like, Gus, I'm tired of your secret. I'm knock your ass out.
Look out, Louie. Like, why take it to that?
I love Gus. He never stopped singing, too, by the way. I mean, he provided us with more tunes on our way to everything. Right? At first, like the first 2 times, I was annoyed. I was like, man, God,
why is this Gus singing?
Gus, she won't shut up. And like the 3rd trip, I'm like, hey, Gus, sing that thing that you sing.
Go ask DJ.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's so
right.
funny.
He started out, but he can sing. He's really talented.
That's is this your first reality? Because you've done ESPN and you know, sports gigs and all this stuff. So was this something that you wanted? Did you even watch the show before?
Yeah, some. I mean, I missed some years. It's been on for 52 years already.
Right, seriously, season 100.
Yeah, so I, obviously know who some of the main people who's on there every year, Johnny Bananas and Noon Ashley and some of the people just on there before.
Yeah.
Right. CT and all that. So I've known some of them before, but I love CT still.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I watched it, but I didn't know. So you never really know, right? It's when they say reality nowadays, and you know, obviously people play certain things up for the camera or whatnot. But what happened in that point is that you had a bunch of people who started to compete and then had to go back and be civilized in a way. Like they'll have us at dinner. They have us conversating. It's like, no, you just told me that, you're going to kick my ass. Or you just told me, so now you're putting us in a position where people are going to argue. Or people are going to kind of go at each other's throats. So that's what ended up happening.
It's like having to play a game and then go have dinner with your rival team
that
you just played against. Like you don't do that.
I mean, it's exactly
you can't be in the same room with that person.
Yeah.
Right.
So I have a question. If of the non-pro, of the champs, who do you think would have the potential to be a pro athlete? And in what?
It's a great question.
Yeah, that is a really good question. I would say maybe Darrell.
Yeah.
You know, Darrell. I think he would have had an opportunity.
Yeah.
CT is an undercover athlete.
That's what CT's great.
He played basketball in college, I think. I think it was D3, so it wasn't anything that you would notice.
Well,
Really?
I watched the show before, and then you know I see him in person. I'm like, who let their dad on the set, right?
Yeah.
Who let the dad? And then we get out there playing football, and then he's like out there like covering people and running around.
Oh my God,
look at
he's-
CT. It's crazy.
He's real deal.
He's a real athlete. Yeah.
Did you ever
He
see
is.
the clip of him making Johnny Bananas a human backpack?
No.
Oh,
Dude
you gotta
picked up
see
Johnny
that.
Bananas on his back and just walked.
And then
with him
threw
on his
him
back.
out.
Like with
that.
anger,
Yeah.
they were. That was a real battle,
some
and he was
crazy
like,
stuff.
"I will dominate you." I mean, it was amazing, and
He's
he
probably the
handed him
closest to
his
like a linebacker
ass.
build.
Oh, for
Yeah.
sure.
It was
For sure.
incredible.
And he
It was
had
incredible.
athleticism, so that was good.
Yeah.
So these champs literally train every year to be back on the show. Did you do any of that? I feel like you just, all right, I'm in, show up, day
Well,
of.
no, because they kept so much of it a secret to us.
Right.
I mean, everything. And in my head, when I'm thinking about competing, I know they're going to have us doing some kind of wacky something
Right.
or whatever.
Words.
But for the most part, you know, we're going to have an opportunity to really go and compete at something.
Yeah.
So we walk up the first day, and we started to shoot, and I walk up and I see hanging ropes. And I'm like, God. I'm like, you know, I'm
You didn't expect anything like
no,
that
I'm
at all?
260 pounds. I probably got every, other than, you know, Cameron, I probably have everybody by 40 pounds or 50 pounds at least. And now I have to hang my big ass with some rope, right?
And climb over people.
And climb over people. And I'll never forget we were doing that, and I was going over the ropes, and I had to step on Candace Wiggins, and she was like looking down at me, and she was like,
She's all scared?
She was like, yeah, Shawne, go. And she was like, she wanted to cry. I felt so
my
bad
God.
for her. I felt so bad because she was like trying to cheer me on, but it hurt her that I stepped on her leg so bad. But it was funny at the time, and I'm hanging from the ropes, and my forearms are starting to burn. But Candace's face, she looks up at me, and she's almost in tears, but she's trying to cheer me on.
Yeah.
So that was hilarious that we did that. But I knew I was going down because I think if I didn't go down first, and I told them before we went, I said if I don't go down first, by the time we get to the end of the ropes, you guys will not be able to hold me up. We're all gonna be taking a swim for sure.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's good. You took one for the team.
Let's talk about your foundation a little bit.
Yeah.
Lights on, and then lights on foundation.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then you have your activewear apparel.
Yes. So the Lights On Foundation was established when I was a sophomore year at the University of Maryland. You know, I grew up in the DMV area, and we grew up homeless and lost, you know, houses and things like that, forced to live in shelters. So my very first thing that I did was my sophomore year, I held a big coat drive, winter coat drive at the University of Maryland. And it was crazy because I just wanted to collect a couple of coats for people, and we ended up collecting 4,000 coats my first year. You know, a lot of big publications came out and networks. The Burlington Coat Factory. I mean, all these people, and I was like a sophomore or junior in college when I first started to do this. And from that point on, I think we're a little over 20,000 coats collected so far. So we started to do a lot of that. So yeah, I mean, we've still.
That's
I
pretty
think you
Cut it
don't
out
see
now.
that kind of charity at the college level as much.
Yeah,
So
you
that's
know, because
really amazing.
it was really because how I was forced to grow up really fast because we didn't have much, right? So I just knew that as soon as I had the kind of a national spotlight, I played at a Division I school, and you know we had games on ESPN and ABC, and you know, so we had these big games, and I had started to develop a name, so I knew that if I did something, I was going to have some eyes and I would get some attention. So I established it pretty early on.
Give it back.
Yeah, give it
To
back.
the community
Exactly.
you came from. Yeah.
Wow, that's
great.
amazing.
And how did you? Sorry.
No, go for it.
How was it? Was that drawn from your own experience, or did you see
Yeah,
something?
I mean,
How
yeah.
did
When we lost, well, you know, to kind of make a shorter story, we lost our home when I was a kid. You know, the electricity went off, and we couldn't afford the bills, and my mom lit a candle in the house because we didn't have lights, and one of the candles had burned through my TV in my room and burned the entire house down. We were forced to move into shelters and lived in cars. I mean, we had it pretty rough growing up. And from that point on, I knew that when I was in that, that I got an opportunity to help somebody else. I got a name for myself and a kind of a national playing level. And that's when I really, established the Lights On Foundation.
Yeah.
So that's how it started.
Wow, that's fantastic. And then your active line?
Yeah, lights out,
right?
lights out. We,
Yeah.
you know, we're growing so fast, and the apparel industry is tough because you got a lot of competition out here, so you got to make really good product and brand yourself correctly. We just launched in Tilly's last week, so now we're selling in Tilly's.
I gotta go get myself a shirt.
Yeah, go to Tilly's and type in lights out.
Or you can hook us up with some
Get a 5-finger discount over here.
Hook you up. Yeah, no, for sure.
Model.
Yeah, absolutely.
cool.
I'll make you a hot dog shirt.
So, you know, we got some really cool partnerships. We partnered with Bellator, which is MMA league. It's on Spike TV. They got really big fights coming up. I think this on June 23rd. Yeah, June 23rd in Madison Square Garden. They got a bunch of big fights coming up for Bellator, so I'll be out there promoting for that.
Nice.
I'll be in Colorado this weekend with my driver, Jesse Iwuji. He's racing in Colorado, my driver of the NASCAR team. So
you have so much going on.
Right? I feel like a fashion show coming up, right?
I feel like I knew a lot of stuff that you have going going on, but now you're just pulling all these out. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. You know, we're extremely.
On there,
No.
Did they leave that one out?
It's all fun right there.
Is it?
I have a lot of.
You got the sax on there. You just got the NASCAR team.
Yeah. So wait, what is that? So you sponsor a car?
Yeah, so it's a Canon series. Jesse Iwuji's one of maybe like one or two African American drivers in the league. He's active in the military. He's a lieutenant in the Navy.
Man,
and he's driving in NASCAR, so he's a great representation for Lights Out for the company.
Yes, seriously.
And I just love NASCAR and kind of being another bridge to maybe add up some diversity to the sport.
Yeah,
really.
So we got a couple big things coming up, but just owning a car wasn't enough. So we got another big
cool
announcement
stuff.
coming
What
up.
do you have like a spacecraft that you want to?
No. But I seen that SpaceX that Elon is over there doing. I got a little jealous.
It's in the works. It's in the works.
Condoizing Mars.
You know it. Absolutely.
Sky's the limit. Are we gonna see you on the television screen anytime soon?
Yeah, I have.
Would you come back to the challenge?
I would because I know what to expect now. I know what to expect.
How are you in puzzles
be
though?
great
In
to
trivia?
Well, I'll have to cheat. Look over my shoulders and throw up the sign language to get me right.
All fair to love and challenges.
Yep. No, but I definitely would because I had fun doing it. I've got a bunch of stuff. I still work over there doing some stuff with ESPN over at Sports Nation, a couple other networks. I have something coming out soon. I don't know when they're going to release it with George Lopez, etc.
Love that guy. That's
DL Hughley, Eddie Griffin, Charlie Murphy, God rest his soul.
What is it?
It's called A Comedy Get Down. I think that's coming out. I don't know, maybe in the next month or so.
And what's your involvement in that?
I'm playing a character on there, so I don't know if they get me I don't know if they gave me the clearance to talk about it. Now you got to have me back on because
we'll have you anytime.
Don't threaten us with a good time.
I want to get your predictions for the rest of the Champs vs. Pro season. Do you have a certain champ or pro you think will be the reigning power?
You already know?
No, I don't know. I figured. I assume that you. Do you know?
Oh, do you
know?
No. The thing they kept. Even the locations, right? Even the locations where we're going to do stuff, we never knew what was going to happen. So we get on it on a bus and we go and we show up somewhere, and it's like, okay. Like, first of all, I don't even know where this part of LA is. I don't even know where we are in the woods somewhere. And then there's all kind of sauce and shit on the ground. Like, what is this sauce in the middle of the woods, right? What are you gonna do?
Can only mean great things.
Right. Sauce in the woods.
Puddle of sauce in the woods. It's like, all right.
That's a new meme right there.
Party in the wood. Party at the water tower.
Yep.
Well, you're welcome back at any time.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
We love having you. And I have one last question.
Yes.
Cavs or Warriors?
Cavs.
Really? That's a whole different show.
I mean, they were down 2-0 last year and turned it around.
Yeah, it's a little different this year. It's gonna be tougher. Obviously them losing the early on at home is going to be tough. They didn't have Kevin Durant last year.
What a difference he's making.
Which is funny. I see him now. Obviously, I used to play basketball with KD.
And KD's from Maryland.
Back in Maryland,
well,
we all came through like some of the same AAU programs. So I used to.
Did you play basketball?
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, I played basketball first, actually.
And you ain't rooting for your boy,
Kevin Durant.
I root for him. I root for him, but it's.
I think am I the only Warrior supporter here? Because you guys are all East Coasters.
Really. Well, I'm.
Well, you live in LA now, girl. Okay.
No, I'm
Right.
I don't want to say how I truly feel loud, but I'm leaning towards the Cavs because I love Kyrie and he's a Jersey boy. So I'm going hometown also. So that's my.
I'm gonna keep it West Coast.
Okay.
And say the Warriors.
Well, we'll see how it goes.
So.
Seems like they have it in a bag as of right now. But
no, not yet. They got a couple games away. All right. Well, thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Twitter, let them know.
let them know
your website.
Yeah,
and
at Shawne Merriman on Twitter and Instagram. Follow the Lights Out brand, which is on Twitter and Instagram, and then lightsoutbrand.com. You can get all your Lights Out gear.
Free shirts for
also, we got But I will have a. You know what? For you guys, I will have a promo code for all the fans, everybody who watched the show.
Yeah,
And
there you go.
I'll have a promo code for you guys.
Yay.
Thank you.
Oh, that's great.
Well, you guys get it for free.
No, but we'll
You guys
tweet
get it for free,
at
but
AfterBuzz
yeah,
fans.
absolutely.
Tweet at,
Yeah.
We'll actually set that up. That's wonderful.
Perfect.
We appreciate that.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on.
And yeah, this has been amazing. You're a fascinating person. Thank you so much for coming. It's been a true honor to meet you.
I appreciate
and
it.
hear
When
about
I'm
this.
not in the sauce, I'm cool sometimes.
When the chips aren't in your mouth and the sauce ain't around you, it's all good.
Sauce in the
we
woods.
should have brought some sauce
in the
dogs
woods.
on. We
Yeah.
should have force fed you some.
No, I would have been climbing under the table
We'll make you
trying
a
to run away.
t-shirt too.
Out.
Like, I came on AfterBuzz and all I got was this stupid meme of me looking at it.
Right. I would have wore it too.
We'll make it for next
There
time.
you go.
Make
Pam,
it
where
for
can
next
they
time.
find you?
Oh, you can find me. My name is Pamela Gross. Thanks again for being with us. And you can find me at Pamela Gross Jill on Twitter and Instagram.
And guys, you can catch me on Twitter at Jenna_Bussiere.
And you guys can find me on Twitter at _Paulina Aguilar and on Instagram at Paulina Aguilar. And once again, thank you for being here.
Thank you. I appreciate
So
it.
See you
fun.
guys next week.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.